Hey guys, what is going on? My name's Tyler McNabb, and this is the engine out of my YFZ450R. So, I've got this here because I am doing a whole separate video on the engine. I'm actually in the middle of filming a part 2 video right now. However, this is not going to be the part 2 video. Not sure what part this is. It is whatever you're watching now, but I wanted to do a whole separate video on the stuff I'm going to do to the engine. I'm going to throw some engine stuff in the other videos, but for now, we are going to be focusing on this thing in terms of cleaning it up, making it look better, and then as well as doing the top end. So we're going to start off this video by getting it cleaned up. I already took it outside. You can see I've got it sealed up in various spots. I had the exhaust sealed up, but I went ahead and took that off for a minute. But what we're going to be doing right now is I'm actually going to go ahead and take off some various covers because right now my vapor blaster, I actually converted it to a dry blaster. So right now it's just media down there in the bottom, and yeah, so it's just a regular sand blaster. My pump and stuff is out here, and so right now I've got it set up as a sandblaster, and I'm going to be sandblasting a couple covers on this so that we can make them look a little nicer than what they do now. And then after I'm done sandblasting them, I'm actually going to put them back on and then vapor blast the whole motor, at least the bottom end. I want to make sure I get the bottom end first because I can't vapor blast it when the top end's off. When the top end is off, I can go ahead and vapor blast those individually. But that's my plan right now. I'm going to get some various covers off. You guys will see what covers I take off. We are going to throw them in the sandblaster, get those cleaned up, and then we will move on with getting the whole thing cleaned up and vapor blasted. So let's jump right into it. Okay guys, we got all of these covers vapor blasted and installed back on the engine. As you can see, we got the motor sitting on our brand new engine stand. You guys saw that in a previous video. So far this thing is pretty nice. So got it on the engine stand, ready to go. Got all these covers back on, and the only thing left to do to get this thing cleaned up is to toss it over in the vapor blaster. So that is going to be my next thing in this video. Is we're going to toss it in the vapor blaster, get the cases all vapor blasted, so that way they're looking nice and fresh. I'm just focusing on the cases right now because I'm going to have the top end apart anyway. So while I have the top end apart, I'll go ahead and vapor blast the head and the cylinder as well. And then these covers are going to be getting some nice coatings as well to freshen them up. So nothing else left to do other than throw it over in the vapor blaster. So let's get it in there. Okay guys, we got this thing all cleaned up. We threw her in the vapor blaster. Of course, the cylinder and the cylinder head still needs to be cleaned up, but man, this other stuff, whew, she cleaned up good. This GoPro probably won't do it justice, but man, it cleaned all this stuff up real nice. Don't worry about that. That's just like some leftover caulking or something, or some silicone from the original factory, but everything else, man, cleaned up very, very nice. So now that I have all that vapor blasted and everything, it is time to tear down this top end. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to go through, we're going to get this all cleaned off, or we're going to get this all taken off, get our top end stripped down, and then we're going to break into the clutch basket as well, and a couple other parts of the engine to just get to whatever we need to do to get this thing ready for race season. So without further ado, let's get into this engine. Okay guys, got the engine stripped down as much as we can, got the top end off, and I've got the clutch basket out as well. So the reason I'm taking the clutch basket out, if you're not aware, basically I'll go through it real quick. These clutch baskets on the 14 and up come with a basket like this. It has springs in it, and the 09 to 13 YFZs had a different clutch basket that had little rubber bumpers back here instead of springs. Well, what you want to do, get this thing out of there is basically what I'm trying to say. Get this thing out of here because these are known for exploding. They'll spin in there, these springs will explode, and it'll destroy your engine. So, yeah, we're getting that out of there. We have an 09 and up, or 09 to 13 basket over on the shelf. It's going to be going in here when we put this thing back together, but that's why I have that out. Got the top end apart, and so I've got most of the stuff sitting over here. I do have the cylinder right here, so I'm not sure how well you guys are going to be able to see this. I think it looks decent, but the cylinder actually looks pretty darn good. As you can see, it is a little bit glazed over. Down there at the bottom looks really good. You can still see the cross hatching, but it's a little bit glazed. So all I need to do there is I will get that honed real quick. But other than that, that is good to go. And then I did notice a little bit of, you can see there on this side, the wrist pin, it's got a little bit, I don't know if I'd even call it scoring, but it's got some marks on it. And so there's some tiny little marks in the crank as well. However, they are very, very fine. And there's no, like, I'm trying to think of the word, but basically it's not blued or turning a different color like it's gotten super hot, but for some reason it is a little bit like that. So what I'll do is I'll run a hone through this thing or through the rod as well to get that all cleaned up. But other than that, everything looks pretty good as far as I know. I don't know why this wouldn't be the original crank, but this should be the original crank, and then everything looks original, piston and cylinder and all that. So piston looks pretty good. Of course, it's got a little bit of carbon buildup, but other than that, it looks pretty good. So overall, I would say the engine is in pretty good shape, and so really the only thing left to do is start putting this thing back together. But first, I am going to come over here because I've got these covers chilling over here, and the reason they are is, as you know, I already sandblasted them, and we are going to be powder coating these guys. And so I've got a sweet powder coat color picked out that I will show you here shortly, but I'm going to go ahead and get these things prepped, get them powdered, and then once I do that, we can go ahead and start reassembling the engine. So I'm going to get into that, and then we will get these things all powder coated. Okay guys, as you saw, we got the cases, or not cases, the various covers powder coated, and they turned out pretty sweet. Not sure how this color will come across on camera, but this color is known as Evo Gray, and it's right on the edge of being black. It's not quite black, it's a very dark gray, and I chose it because I think it's going to contrast really well with the vapor blasted cases. And so plus I like gray, it's a nice color, so I chose a gray, a nice dark gray, and man, these things turned out pretty sweet. So got these things all powder coated, ready to go. So now all that's left is to get them back on the motor over there. So next thing we're going to work on is we're going to get the clutches in. So I have a fresh set of clutches. The other ones still looked pretty good, but I figured while I'm in there, I might as well go ahead, put a fresh set of clutches in it. So we got our discs, we got our fibers, we got our gasket, we got our springs, and courtesy of B&R Motorsports, they have these clutch plate kits from Yamaha. So hit them up if you need anything like that. And so we got that, but the most important thing, I kind of discussed it a little bit earlier in the video, but I'm going to show you guys. So here we have our two different clutch baskets. This is the original clutch basket that came out of the motor. As you can see here, looks like a clutch basket. You've got your 3 rivets holding it in. And then if I flip this over, as you saw before, it's got these springs as a dampening system on this clutch basket. This is the older style clutch basket, the 09 to 13, and as you can see, it has a lot more rivets. It's 8 of them in there. And if we flip this over, you can't see it, but behind this plate here is a bunch of rubber bumpers or grommets, whatever you want to call them, and that acts as the dampening system. And this is the basket you want to run in your YFZ450R, because these, like I said before, they will explode and they will destroy your engine. So we are going to get this new clutch basket in. I got this thing out of the box. Also got this from B&R Motorsports. So like I said, if you need anything like that, they've got all sorts of different types. They've got a bunch of different, I guess, kits and stuff. So this is what I decided to go with, and so you can do a bunch of different styles. I chose to go with the 09 to 13 basket, but I'm still going to be running the 14 to 21 slipper clutch assembly. So you can do it different ways. You can either run the original clutch in this thing, but like I said, you run the risk of destroying it, or you can do what I'm doing, run the 09 to 13 basket and the slipper clutch, or you can switch to a whole 09 to 13 clutch system that doesn't have the slipper clutch. I decided to keep the slipper clutch for now. Just because I like it. It seemed to work good for me so far. It's got an nice, easy clutch pull, and you don't hear too many bad things about the slipper clutch itself. It's usually just the basket. So I decided to keep that. Plus, if I went to the 09 to 14 or 13 style, I'd have to get a new hub and plate and all this on different springs and all that stuff. So I just decided to go ahead, stay with the slipper clutch, and do that. So I will quit talking and we will get this all assembled, so that way we can do that, and then next we will move on to the top end. So let's get this engine put back together. So normally I don't use assembly lube when I'm putting motors back together. I've just always used the break-in oil that I'm going to use, but I picked up some of this Maxima assembly lube from Ristler's Extreme ATV, and I'm going to try it out on the YFZ because a lot of people use it. Plus, the cool thing about it is it smells like cinnamon. So get you some of this, put it in your motor build. Okay guys, so we got all the clutch assembled. I went ahead, threw my water pump cover on as well, and the old, I'm not sure what this cover is called, but it goes over where the oil dipstick is, so I'm gonna call it the oil dipstick cover. Anyway, got that on as well. Those covers are looking fly next to the freshly vapor blasted cases. So got that all assembled, and then for some reason, I know I recorded putting the piston on, but the footage just like disappeared. So I don't have footage of me putting the piston on, but that was pretty straightforward. Slapping the wrist pin in, and then it took me like half an hour to get the stupid circlips in. Man, those things are a real pain in the butt. So if you guys have any tips for getting those circlips in, I mean, I was using like a pick and the indent to get it in, but it did not want to go in. So if you got any tips for getting one of those circlips in, drop them down below, because I am all for them. Anyway, got that, and then it's like 2 days later since you saw me working on this, because of this little guy right here. This little dowel pin that goes in the bottom of the cylinder and then goes right there. That guy disappeared on me. So basically what happened, I think it's my fault. As you can see, there's one in the cylinder already, and I don't think I took them out. Well, I didn't take them out when I took the cylinder off, and then I took it down to Clay City Pottery Motorsports to have him hone it out, and plus I took it in and out of the house when I was washing it and stuff. And so somewhere along that way, and I was vapor blasting it, somewhere along that way that dowel pin fell out, and so that's on me. I didn't take it out like I should have, and it fell out somewhere along the line and it went missing, and so I had to wait. Well, I was working on this on Sunday, now it's Wednesday, so I had to wait 3 days to get this dowel pin, but now that I've got it, I can finish this motor build. So we're going to jump right into that, get the cylinder on, get the head on, get the valve cover on, and then this motor will be complete. So let's jump back into working on the quad, or working on the motor, and get this thing buttoned up. Okay guys, well, she's done. We have our official YFZ450R engine completely rebuilt, and man, did she turn out good. So as you can see, this thing is shining all nice and beautiful like from the old vapor blaster over there, as well as that beautiful Evo gray powder coat from Prismatic Powders, making the clutch cover, water pump cover, valve cover, and our oil dipstick cover all nice and beautiful. So this thing turned out really nice, man. It it looks brand new. I'm not sure if the camera will show how new it looks, but man, in person, I mean, it looks like a whole brand new engine. So moral of the story is, if you have the chance to vapor blast your engine, do it, because it turns out really sweet. And then some nice powder coat to bling it up a little bit as well. So just to kind of cover everything, tore the engine down, or first I guess I vapor blasted it, then I tore it down, did a top end, bottom end was good, crank felt really good, no play or wiggle or anything at all in that, so the crank was good. We put a fresh OEM top end in it, so didn't go high compression piston or anything like that. This thing has plenty of power. I think it's like 40 horsepower from the factory, plenty of horsepower for myself, and so yeah, didn't feel like bumping up any power or anything like that, so decided to stick with OEM to remain as reliable as I possibly can. And then got that thing assembled and ready to go. A couple things I will show you. I added in our AIS delete from 38 Motorsports, as well as our speed sensor delete from 38 Motorsports. So that is a sponsor that I picked up for the 2023 season. So big shout out to them. If you need any little sensor deletes, or they've got all kinds of stuff. I've got a couple more accessories that I'm going to be adding to the YFZ from them. I believe a breather box, and then there's one other thing. Oh, a tank lowering kit. So a gas tank lowering kit. So got all that stuff ready to go, and those bling up the engine real nice, as well as deleting some sensors that aren't so necessary. So overall, we have the engine complete. It's looking great, and now it's time to start on the whole thing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this motor build. I'm pretty sure this is one of my longer videos. I've been editing it as I went, and I think I'm already up to like 25 minutes. And I just barely started on the reassembly, so this is probably going to be a longer video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I know a lot of guys are going to those longer videos, so I'm going to try to do that here and now, here every now and then with the build videos and stuff. So hopefully you guys like them. Hopefully you enjoyed this motor build. I think it turned out sweet. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, like I said, we can get started on the main chassis. And hopefully the next video I'll get some good parts on there for you, and we can actually start making this thing look like a quad again. So thank you guys for coming and watching. I really do appreciate it. I want to say a big shout out to one of my main sponsors, Rissler's Extreme ATV. If you guys need any parts and you're in the greater Brazil, Terre Haute, Greencastle, you know, even Indy area, reach out to him. He's a great guy. He does great business, and most of the time he can beat pretty much all the online prices as well. So, and you don't have to pay shipping because you got a nice local shop that supports the sport. So hit him up for anything. Let him know I sent you, and he'll make you a nice deal. So thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.